Which scene in a film disturbed you the most? The scene in the original Pet Sematary where the old guy gets his Achilles tendon cut from the little kid under the bed. I always checked under the bed after that. Edit. These comments are a treat. Still pretty new to Reddit. Only recently been active. I absolutely love all the shared trauma we had with this one scene. Made me smile all day, seeing all the comments and upvotes. Thanks for making my day in spite of the Rona lockdown and the smoky air making us have to stay indoors for the past few days. I hope you all have a great rest of the day, stay safe and always check under the bed.
Zodiac. When he's stabbing the couple at Lake Berryessa. The lack of any music while hearing their screams is disturbing.
American History X. Put your mouth on the curb. I've never actually managed to watch this scene. I'll watch near enough anything, but I can't stomach this scene. There's a scene from the movie The Road where the father and his son discover a room full of chained, naked people waiting to be eaten by the cannibals living in the house, and then they run away and they get chased by the cannibals. That scene really traumatized me when I was young. I remember crying so hard when I watched that movie. Edit. I swear my parents are not bad people lol. I don't remember exactly since it's been like 10 years, but I'm sure if they knew how intense that movie was, they would not have let me watch it. Woman shrugging, medium light skin tone. Also I was like 13 to 14, not 8 or something, haha.
I watched The Matrix when I was a kid, and the scene where the agents interrogate Neo still holds a special, horrible place in my mind. Specifically, when he loses his mouth, and the little robotic probe thing climbs into his belly button. Holy fuck.
In Seven, the guy in the sex club recounting what the murderer made him do with a strap-on saw blade. His screaming about what he made him do.
The scene in The Mummy where the scarabs crawled under the one guy's skin. I saw it when I was about 8 and it traumatized me. I still have nightmares once in a while about it 20 years later. The brave little toaster when the vacuum sucks up his own cord. I will never vacuum over a cord.
There's an 80s-90s horror movie called When a Stranger Calls Back. All the spoilers. In the movie, the killer is a ventriloquist who can throw his voice. In the end scene, the protagonist is in a room with the killer, and can hear him but she can't see him. He has painted himself to look like the wall. This scene impacted me for many years. As a single woman living alone, I would walk around my house, trailing my hand along the wall to make sure no one had painted themselves to match my wall.
The baby scene in Trainspotting.
The eye-sewing shenanigans in Coraline.
I was about 10 or younger I think when I saw it, so I think that's why it stuck with me, but it's the scene from Pan's Labyrinth where the dad just bashes some soldier's face in with a wine bottle. Edit. When I say dad I mean the main girl's father, the commander, psychopathic soldier. Looking back, it wasn't a soldier's face, but the son of father who were out rabbit hunting.
This was so horrifying to me at the time because I was so young when I watched it, but the last scene in Cannibal Holocaust where the cannibals assaulted and attacked one of the film crew has just stayed with me since. In Saving Private Ryan, the scene where the Jewish soldier gets stabbed to death while the cowardly soldier can't bring himself to save him. Less than.
Final scene of The Mist with Thomas Jane. All for nothing.
I'm sorry, but Black Swan when she has skin at the edge of nail and she pulls it. Fuck. No.
I believe it was Human Centipede 2. Pregnant woman pretends to be dead, is discarded to the side of the room, waiting for her chance to escape. Goes into labor, obviously can't continue playing dead, screams and runs, is discovered by Centipede Dude. Manages to get herself into a car as baby pops out, lady smashes baby's head under the pedal as she slams the gas pedal down attempting to escape. I don't watch horror movies anymore. That scene in Pinocchio where the boy turns into a donkey.
Event Horizon, the hell recording showing terrible things. I don't believe in supernatural stuff, but that scene sticks with me. We were soldiers when they carpet bombed too close and several soldiers caught on fire. Then when they lifted up the guy and his legs peeled.
There's this bear scene in Annihilation where the voices of the dead crew members mutate into the bear's growl. It's really FKN scary.
When Denethor ate the tomato.
There's a scene in a horror thriller film called Mirrors. The plot is basically there's another dimension in anything reflective, and they're evil for the most part. It's been over a decade since I've seen it, I'm sure. where a woman looks at her reflection in the mirror before getting in the bath. As she leaves the mirror, her reflection remains there. Couple of minutes later, she's chilling in the bath and the mirror version of her just starts ripping its own jaw open, which in turn forces the woman's jaw open in the bath, and she cannot do anything about it to stop it and just has to let her jaw get torn to shreds as the bathtub fills with blood. It is brutal. The last 10 to 15 minutes of Requiem for a Dream.
In Return to Oz, where the girl is strapped to the table and when you see all those freestanding heads lining the walls. That movie is one of the most trippy and fucked up movies, and it boggles my mind that it was marketed to children.
Charlie's death, less than in Hereditary.
Oh, probably the scene in Hannibal where Anthony Hopkins cooks the guy's brain and feeds it to him.
Spoiler alert for The Thing 1982. One of the researchers, Norris, gets infected by the extraterrestrial being and had started replicating him from the inside. Dr. Copper attempts to revive him after Norris gets a heart attack, being unaware of the infection. As he is about to use the defibrillator, the extraterrestrial bites his arms off and Norris's body gets severed into pieces and each part develops legs of its own as the Thing tries to replicate his body. Disgusting stuff. In case you are interested, here's a link to the clip. Skip to 112.
The scene in RoboCop when Murphy was murdered.
The rape scene in A Clockwork Orange where Alex is singing the song, Singing in the Rain, while doing horrible things to this woman. It was totally unscripted too.
Splice when the Thing grew a dick and raped its mother. Also when the dad fucked it. Think it is on Netflix if anyone is interested. This still haunts me. The movie is Saw 2 and it's the part where the big guy doesn't want to do his challenge so he throws that girl into a pit of dirty needles. Can't think of many things that could be worse. Bilbo Baggins freaking out over the ring in The Fellowship, absolutely ruined the movie for 6-year-old me.
The dip scene in Who Framed Roger Rabbit is so fucked up. There is something about murdering an innocent cartoon shoe that makes it so much more disturbing than your average Hollywood murder scene. In Parasite, basically everything after they go down into the basement bunker was fucking mind trip because it totally changed the direction I thought the movie was going.
The ear scene in Reservoir Dogs. Musical notes. Here I am, stuck in the middle with you. Musical notes.
Opening sequence Midsommar.
In the British nuclear apocalypse movie, Threads, the whole movie after the bombings. The bit when that guy blinds a kid by pouring burning oil into his eyes in Slumdog Millionaire. Can we talk about that dream scene in the original, Dumbo, cartoon movie? This one scared the shit out of me when I was a kid, and it remains haunting to this day.
In one of the later Rambo, I Believe 5, where the bad dudes toss mines inside a pond and make the village people run across the pond or face getting shot. That whole movie has scenes of torture that are hard to watch for me. Not necessarily the gruesome of it, but knowing the fact that real people have definitely had a similar treatment before.
The rape scene in Irreversible. Wound up fast-forwarding after a few minutes. Edit. Thank you for the awards.
Shaving the leg in Cabin Fever.
I can't remember how old I was when I watched Terminator 2, Judgment Day, but I know I wasn't old enough to see it. Several scenes in that movie gave me nightmares, including when the T-1000 killed the security guard getting coffee and Sarah Connor's dreams about Judgment Day.
In The Strangers when one of them answers by, "Because you were home," when asked why they were disturbing the protagonist at her house.
The purposely botched electrocution in The Green Mile. To this day I can't watch even a second of that movie.
Indiana Jones when they dip a guy alive in lava. Also I was 5 when I saw it, so that's probably why it traumatized me.
The scene in Hotel Rwanda where someone is driving over a bumpy road. The person looks down and realizes the bumps are human bodies. It's horrible to know such things happened. Edit. I didn't expect this post to get so much attention. It gives me hope that some people out there were just as affected by the scene as I was. I hope we can all work for a more compassionate tomorrow.
A lot of scenes in Midsommar. That movie in general really creeped me the hell out. Splice as well. Hate that movie to hell and back.
The scene in The Body, an episode of Buffy, where she walks into the house and finds her mother dead of natural causes. As someone that has experienced that at a young adult age, this scene is so well written, shot and acted, as in, everything about it is basically spot on for how you act, feel, see things. I've seen it once, it chilled me to the bone, knocked me sick, and I've not been able to re-watch it since. Probably a bit different than you were expecting, especially since it's from a TV show, but this is what instantly came to mind when reading the question.